Well, I hold in my hand here the ultimate knick-knack of television production, the Emmy. And I guess I'm happy to report that we do more than news every week here at the No BS News Hour. We make documentaries, and we've been awarded the 2022 Michigan Emmy for documentary. Thank you very much. That's me, Byron Goggin, and our friend Ira Todd, retired Detroit police interrogator, decided we wanted to take a look at gun violence, particularly as it pertains to children. It was all the rage, all the stuff coming out of the pandemic. There were articles everywhere. We started this project before the pandemic hit, and it was really difficult to get it done during the pandemic with the lockdowns. But we thought it was important. And to me, it's kind of the culmination of the work I've been trying to do here since I moved back all those years ago. And not much for awards. Proud to get it. It's an acknowledgement. I didn't put myself up for it, but these aren't the things people should be chasing. I mean, it's not like we went after the scam artist that ripped grandma off on her sidewalk, or, latest breaking news, there was a house fire, or, fill in weekend anchor of the year. It's none of that. I guess it's nice, but this is what it's about. What this documentary, well, I should say this. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of things going, but we need to take a break. And we need to show you this. And what it is, it's called Kiss the Babies. And it's a multi-year look at Detroit particularly. I mean, gun violence against children is a national epidemic. And Detroit is one of the ground zeros. There's only one place where children are more abused, and that would be St. Louis. It's worse here than Chicago, worse here than Philadelphia. And I don't know what we're doing. We keep diverting taxes to rich men to make them richer. And if you watch this, you'll see what life is like in the neighborhood, what happens when you defund police and you defund schools. You're not really building for the future. So it is depressing, but hopefully you'll find something worthwhile in it. And with no further delay, please enjoy Kiss the Babies. Looks like a kid, dude. It's a tiny little casket. How you doing? All right. It's a kid. Wow. I love this town, but this town makes me sad.
Sweeping the clouds away, on my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? How to get to Sesame Street?
Sources say last week on the way to see Sesame Street live, Christian had been riding in the back seat with his godmother driving down the service drive, Durham angrily rolling down the window, pointing the gun at the car and firing a single shot. That bullet hitting little Christian in between his shoulder blades, the little boy dying the next day.
Who shoots at women? Whether you knew it was a kid in the back of that car or not, who shoots at women? She not pointing the gun at you?
Is your son a monster? No, he's not. He's not.
I was in a coma for about 2 weeks. Not only to have something like that happen, I got shot in the head. The face, it's all just the upper body, right? But to come out of it and remember that, it's like sometimes you get. You get a moment to reflect.
The leading cause of death among our children, it's not accidents, it's not illness, it's gun violence. This is not all over the world, it's not in other countries, it's in America. This is the greatest country in the world, and we can't do something about gun violence.
Gun violence is a part of our culture now.
It's a drive-by shooting at night. The target, a home in Charlotte, North Carolina. Authorities say it's linked to a feud between local high school students. You see 3 teenagers get out of 2 cars, then unleash an estimated 150 bullets. That's right, 150 rounds of ammunition.
Today at yet another school, students, teachers, and parents terrified and scrambling after shots fired on campus.
Medical assistance, multiple ambulances if possible.
America has a problem. Children, guns, death. You hear about it after some spectacular carnage at a school.
Multiple shots fired at Stoneman Douglas High School.
Almost universally, these schools are suburban or rural.
This time at Oxford High School, some 40 miles north of Detroit.
There's hand-wringing.
I think this is every parent's worst nightmare.
Policymakers weigh in.
We can't accept events like this as routine. Are we really prepared to say that we're powerless?
The American people are with you. And as the president said on Sunday halfway across the world, we will never leave your side.
We're tired of hearing politicians send their thoughts and prayers to us and doing nothing to make the necessary changes to prevent this tragedy from happening again.
But everyday gunfire kills more children each week than Columbine, Sandy Hook, Parkland, and Uvalde combined. In America, at least one child under the age of 18 is shot every hour of every day of every year.
For the 3rd time in less than 3 weeks, a child is shot in the head in North Minneapolis.
And the victims are 4 times more likely to be black children living in a big city.
Police say 5 people were shot, including a 4-year-old little boy who died.
Reaction to this pandemic is treated by society as little more than a nuisance, the buzz of a fly.
What's sad is that there's no outrage or protest about a 7-year-old being shot.
Top of the 6 o'clock news, the mother in tears, the chief of police wagging his finger, and then onto the weather.
Thank goodness for this break that's heading our way today. I don't think this region could deal with much more after what we were dealt with last night.
Guns are the #1 killer of children, claiming more lives than cancer, pneumonia, and the flu combined. The financial costs are billions of dollars every year. The emotional cost, immeasurable. Child shootings skyrocketed during the COVID lockdowns when cops were home sick. It climbed higher in the aftermath of George Floyd's murder. More children are dying of gunfire than ever before. In Chicago, 250 children were shot in 2021.
The 15-year-old shot 24 times, murdered just around the block from his home.
In Philadelphia, 130 children.
Gunfire, more funerals, and new pleas from parents to save their children from Philadelphia's surging gun violence.
In Detroit, 110 children. But Detroit is a small city with less than half the population of Philly. Why? Why do so many children suffer? Is it a misguided push of public dollars to the police, as BLM asks? Or is it a lack of police themselves?
Gun violence, as we know, continues to be a major concern in Philadelphia, and we know there is a shortage of police officers in this city.
Or is it economic racism, a lack of opportunities and housing and schools? Is it a culture of no snitching? The revolving door of an overwhelmed criminal justice system?
Police arrest them, but then they're quickly released.
Yeah, the police chief says there's not enough jail space.
What it is a national pandemic, and we've decided to take a hard look at one of its epicenters, Detroit. Detroit filed for bankruptcy in 2013.
Tonight out of America's iconic motor city, Detroit, waving the white flag.
The homicide rate is at its highest in 40 years. Dubbed Murder City, with 78,000 abandoned buildings, 63% of its population gone. So empty, the city of Paris could fit inside the vacant space.
In a grand social experiment, $7 billion in debt was wiped away. The police budget was slashed. Pensions and health care cut. This was supposed to loosen up money to make life better for children. But did it? No one seems to ask.
Silence the violence! Silence the violence! Whole streets! Our streets! Whole streets!
900 children have been shot in those 9 years since Detroit's historic bankruptcy. Whatever happened to the young survivors of those shootings? What's happened to the families?
Peace! Put down the guns! Put down the guns!
I'm Charlie LeDuff. I'm a reporter here in Detroit. Shootings happen all over the country of kids all the time. Nobody cares. Story, move on. Next story, move on. But Detroit is like no place I've ever seen. It's no place you've ever seen when it comes to kids. 1 in 40 kids shot in the United States last year was in Detroit. A prominent educator came to me and said, "What happens to children after they've been shot? How come nobody cares? Why don't we ever follow up? Can you do that for me?" I said, "Sure." "Which one?" Been 1,000 of them since we came out of bankruptcy in 2015. Which one?
Shooting! No more shooting! Enough is enough!
Goodbyes are exchanged in the lobby of Detroit Police Headquarters as the 24-year-old man being sought for the shooting death of 3-year-old Christian C.J. Miller turns himself over to police.
It just showed Christian that he is loved, and I'm glad we found him, we got him. Now we can start healing.
Christian Miller, a 3-year-old baby on his way to see Sesame Street live. He's going to see Elmo skate around. And some dude, angry because the woman driving the car with Christian in the back seat, cuts him off as she's getting on the highway. Apparently, he's so upset he tells his girlfriend to lean back, pulls out his piece, and fires into the car. 1 shot. Kills the baby.
Man! It's time for us to take this serious! That's right!
My name is Ira Todd. I'm just an old, broke down street cop. I've seen it all. You know, when a 3-year-old is shot, what's left behind is a whole community, not just their family, but a whole community that's mourning the death of this 3-year-old. People don't realize there's years of anger and pain that's associated with that whole thing. These senseless murders of these kids. You know, these gang members shooting into crowds or shooting into houses. But they don't know what the target is. They don't even have a clue of what their target is. And so when you have a 3-year-old that's killed out in these streets, I mean, it affects the whole community, it affects the whole world. And we need to do something about it.
Why is everybody so angry?
That's just how they brought up. And the things that they see. The environment, and like you said, economics. No jobs out here. People out here suffering, barely can feed their families. So what you expect? You know, you thrown into this mix. to where everybody is just mad. That's just how it is. They just mad for no reason. Whether you knew it was a kid in the back of that car or not. Who shoots at women? She not pointing the gun at you.
Who shoots at men?
Who shoots at men?
People, period. It's driving a car.
Let's knuckle up. Let's fight it out. Let's get a fair one on. At least we both get to live to see another day. And it's too much of this going on out here, man. People tired of it now. I've been tired of it. Yeah. You know, you see it on the news, you know, the school shootings and kids. You shed a tear for them kids. Now this is my reality. It hurts. You go out your way to protect your son. You do what you're supposed to do. And somebody else get into a situation. Now he's gone. You just can't. It's hard, man. What can you say?
Right. I could say gun control. I could say more police. I could say more jobs. I don't know. Government programs. I don't know.
Yeah, but that was always the issue. Anyway, more policemen, more. But this haven't happened.
This particular case, it doesn't get more slam dunk than this. You know, this thing was wrapped up in a bow and presented to the prosecutor's office. I mean, we had witness testimony. We had the driver in this vehicle actually give a confession to everything that occurred. You know, I talked to him. He creates this consciousness of guilt, this thing where this guy is not even remorseful, but he's telling you everything he's done. He's talking about, you know, how to get out of it. He's trying to find a way to justify his actions. But he killed a child. Instead of coming in and humbling himself and saying, look, I made an awful mistake. I don't know what the hell got into me. This guy was still trying to save his own ass.
I just thank God my baby got justice.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, true.
So I wanted to talk to Derek Durham. I mean, Elmo, a baby. Was this guy an animal? Was he sorry? Was this the worst mistake he'd ever made in his life? You never hear that. So his parents agreed to see me. I never got to see Derek. What I saw with the parents has changed everything about how I saw life.
I was just at court and I even hugged the little boy's mother.
And I respected her for that. Because if she didn't, I would have looked at her like, well, dang, this is why we're in a situation. But I felt her sympathy.
And I told her out my own mouth, if they tell me that you gotta die for this baby to come back, I would do that just for she can be with her, so she can raise him and watch him grow.
But it don't work that way, does it?
No, it don't. I wished it did.
I had come to hear a story about a murderer. What I walked away with was stories of victims.
They have an actual loss. It's something that you can't get back. And I'm sure a lot of people express their condolences to them, but it's not a lot of people that can say to them that I know what you're going through, I know how you feel.
Everyone in that family had been shot. 4 generations. Grandparents, the parents, the brother, a fetus.
I was shot twice. I was shot once it went through the side, through the stomach, and through the stomach, through this side. Came out there, out my butt.
And the baby was hit?
Yes. My baby died.
Oh my God.
The bullet struck the baby's the head, like the temper of the head or whatever.
God. And then Derek's twin brother.
I hate even talking about it, but they found my son outside on the side of the house. His feet, I think the foot was hanging in the inside and the body was...
You don't have to do that, baby. I was shot too, but...
You were shot? Where'd they hit you?
They tried to hit me in the head. The gun was right here. My back was kind of turned. And it went in right here and came out right there. It was a straight shot. When I knocked it down, It went in and out.
My father dead. He got killed when I was like a little bit younger, probably like 2 or 4 years old. My mother told me that he went to a grocery store to get me some diapers and they was robbing the store. And he wasn't willing to give up the money for my diapers because he needed to get me diapers. And they said that he was supposed to he was telling the man that, man, my daughter need diapers, she need these, and the man killed my daddy.
So that's 4 generations. 2 people living in hell, a son in prison, 2 in the ground. It's a cycle that goes on and on. You could say it's culture, but I come to find out when it comes to shooting at children, it's so much more than that.
You know what? I want you to think about that a minute. Let it resonate. There's the sad reality, but Christians not isolated. You know, kids' lives are being changed by gun violence every day. Cops get like 20 cases a day. It's impossible for them to keep up. It's impossible for them to prevent these type of incidents from happening. And what's left behind? Shattered lives.
There's not a week that goes by without a gun shooting going off. I'm afraid to even allow my kid outside because I don't know if he's gonna come home.
What's really sad is that I've lost count now. I mean, really 1 is enough, right? And this poor kid is just laying in bed. You can't even lie in your own bed in the middle of the night.
An infant was sleeping in a crib, and somebody must have fired a gun in the air. We will never know. And the bullet came crashing down through the ceiling and became embedded in the child's forehead. It certainly distorts your sense of what safe is. That's one of those cases that will forever live with me, just because it's not something that's supposed to happen.
There's a bar in the back that alternates and does reciprocal movement. She had to prove she could like get down out of her wheelchair and get back up in. You get stand up.
My name is India Williams, a 12-year-old girl, life and change. I don't know who you are, but I'm sure you know who I am. I am sure you did not mean to shoot me. And at this point in time, I really don't care what happens. I just would love an apology for your actions. I don't think harm or time will do you justice because my life can't go back. But once again, my name is India Williams, and I would love an apology.
India Williams, 7-year-old on a Sunday, riding her bike. Some meatheads decide they're gonna shoot it out. She's left bleeding on the sidewalk. She becomes the it girl in Detroit for years because she's so vibrant, she's so beautiful, she's so young, she's so good-natured.
9-year-old India Williams, an innocent victim of gun violence 2 years ago, shot while riding her bike.
Last Friday, we raised thousands of dollars to be able to buy this device for your daughter.
The police came to see me and brought me gifts for Christmas.
I need these. My feet get cold. Thank you so much. Very nice.
I just felt surprised.
But now there's renewed interest in this case.
Crime Stoppers is now highlighting her case. Her mother grateful for more attention on her story.
Pretty excited about someone putting a reward up, yes, but I just want people to speak up.
When I come to meet her 5 years later, the cameras have gone away, the chief has gone away, the toy bags have gone away, and everybody in the neighborhood knows the guy is still out there. That's another problem.
And they said they had a pretty good idea of who they felt like was the trigger person in the car, but Like, again, no one wanted to come up and say anything, or no one wanted to be like, yeah, I'll testify or tell on that person. So it was just like at a standstill. So
the neighborhood knew, didn't they?
Everybody pretty much knew.
Everybody
Or
knew.
no. Yeah. Nobody's really gonna be like, yeah, I seen him in that car pointing that gun and shot that little girl. Nobody's really gonna step up and do that. Because it hasn't been done yet. It's a number of reasons why people don't, tell. It's a street thing. You shouldn't tell on people. Snitches get stitches, stuff like that. But in this case, this man changed my baby's life. And she almost didn't make it.
But India did make it, and her life continues to roll on, picking up the pieces, therapy, rehab, trying to find normalcy. The days have turned into months, and the months into years. The cameras have moved on, and so have the authorities. Unknown to the family, prosecutors dropped the case. Mayana's getting ready for school on a Sunday evening. She goes downstairs to get some soap, comes upstairs. 3 guys wearing hockey masks fire through the window, striking her. They're still at large. She just wants to move.
I stand like right between that middle window and the last. I stay right there. I open my phone because my mama texted me. So as soon as I open it, boom, I just got shot right here. So I just fall this way and blood just started coming out of my face.
You scared?
Yeah, I got anxiety sometimes.
Anxiety? Who wouldn't have anxiety?
I could just be thinking about something and then I could just think about the day it happened. So then I'm just like, dang. And I'll still be in the house. So that's like even worse.
Because you don't feel safe in your house.
Yeah.
We help raise some money, a GoFundMe to get him out of the neighborhood, because that's another thing people say. Why don't you just move away? Why don't you just move away? To where? We can't get the Section 8 voucher back from the slumlord. There's a lot of money to be made in poverty.
It seems like they ain't got no heart. They know everything I've been through, and it just seemed like they just want me here. And I'm trying to tell them, I'm trying to do what's best for my daughter.
When she asked to move, they sent her maybe 4 other properties that they own, and these properties were in worse neighborhoods and in worse conditions than the home that she's trying to get away from.
I just feel like I'm stuck, I still have this money. I can't move. I'm seeing nice houses that I want to rent out. And just, they get rented out to other people because I'm still waiting to get out my lease.
How can I help you? Yeah, I was calling on behalf of Myra Lanton. She's in the process of moving, but she needed a clearance or something from you guys' property management company. You do own Defund 1, right?
All you need to do is just contact off. You have to contact.
Everybody knows 8 Mile. They live it at 7 3/4 mile. It's a quarter mile to the promised land. A quarter mile. It might as well be 2,000 light years from home. So naturally, I want to meet somebody that hasn't been shot, that's trying to get through it, do the right things. Meet Jordan Ruffin L., at the time 16, moves out of his mother's house because she can't afford him. He moves in with another teenager on the other side of town. He takes 2 buses to school and from school, all by himself, getting through. What he says to me, this guy, this very young guy, this very talented guy, is there are flowers capable of growing in any corner in this country. They just need to be nurtured and they need to be watered. He's got everything we want in a young man.
A lot of people within the city, they'll go to like illegal things because that's basically what's openly available within the city, it's a saying, like if you keep too many rats within the same live trap, they 9 times out of 10 by the morning time, one of them be eaten by another one. So, in other words, less resources, less thoughtfulness.
So I've become close to Jordan in the 2 years that I know him. His very best friend killed himself with a gun. And then I got a call around Christmas. His other very best friend looked at the dope man Ron at the liquor store and took it in the chest. There's an old saying, you're like walking lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you a target, do you feel?
Yeah, I have, man, I have. It's been like that almost since I can remember, you know? But not me being on my own and not being in the house all the time and, you know, having to make money and stuff by myself, yeah, you know?
When do you feel it? Like when does the radar go off? When does the hair on your neck start to tell you, uh-oh? What do you do to avoid it?
Basically, whenever you walk outside the house, radar on. I mean, it's like a lifestyle, though, if you think about it. You're born in Detroit, you know about stray bullets, hit people, and just senselessness. I don't know, I look at it as a living.
You know, there's a whole way of life where it's not like that.
Yeah.
This represents a larger issue within the city. You know, communities are torn apart. They're being torn apart. Crimes are being unsolved. You know, people are becoming desperate. People are in fear. People are angry. People are tired and fed up. Cops are tired and fed up. And all of this is just a result of the downcline of Detroit.
This city lost 244,000 people in 10 years. It left behind a city with the highest unemployment rate in the United States. It left behind the highest poverty rate, the highest murder rate. Washington, D.C. and Boston have populations almost the same size as ours. Okay, every city in America does not live with this violence.
Why are so many kids getting shot?
It's really fear. And I always tell guys, fear and anger equal rage. Fear and anger equal rage. I grew up in the same environment, and I just got lucky.
Fear I get because there's a lot of violence already.
Yes.
What's the rage?
The rage,
What's the root
the
of
rage
that?
comes from the anger. Yeah, a lot of times when you walk around, if you see a guy, all of a sudden, he go bad. It's not just the fear that made him go bad, it's the anger. He's angry, guess what? He can't get a job. You know, he's angry because you look over here and somebody's doing really well and they getting all the benefits.
Isn't that something like the heavy violence, the heavy murder, the drugs, that rage, all coincides with the leaving of these factories?
Absolutely.
In Detroit, we kind of just went through a down spiral where we didn't have much recreation, you know, even for the youth or even for adults, you know what I mean? No jobs, no opportunities. So it was just, you know, people relying on themselves. What can I do to provide for me and mine?
No jobs, no money for schools, no money for programs, no money for police. You know how many kids have been shot since bankruptcy? How many kids in the last 6 years?
How many?
Over 500.
Just crazy.
You know what percentage even get arrested? Less than 20.
What really brought us here is the loss of the police force, the loss of police department, the loss of people caring about law enforcement. When I came on job, it was 5,000 cops. You could not drive through a neighborhood without passing another scout car. It was 5,000 of us. You had enough resources to really go out there and fight crime. Now we got about 2,000 cops. And think about it, 2,000 cops.
2,000 cops.
2,000 cops. And then not only that, they making them work double shifts.
So Detroit goes bankrupt. It's supposed to somehow improve children's lives. Do we get schools? Do we get programs? Do we get after-school jobs? Do we get more police? Do we get crime solved? No.
Dan Gilbert just broke ground on the Hudson site. $1 billion construction project for 3 years. And he has to have 51% of the work be done by Detroiters.
Did Detroiters get those jobs? No. That was supposed to be done in 3 years. It's 5 years later. Is the skyscraper built? No. Are children continuing to get shot? Oh, yeah. Over 600 kids have been shot since bankruptcy. And we're trying to figure out how to keep them safe. There's two ways to do it, police and schools. And so when you do big development deals where you never have to pay property taxes as part of the deal, or we're giving you cash subsidies and we're paying the interest, the property taxes in the DDA are diverted to pay for the hockey arena.
Right.
And as we know, property taxes fund schools.
I would much rather have. I'm thrilled that the Little Caesars Arena is there because it gives us an asset, it gives us a draw for the city, for people to come, and it replaced nothing with something really spectacular.
In order for the city to break even in terms of income taxes on its investment in the hockey arena, it would have to create $1,500 million a year paying jobs. That's how much we would have to create jobs because it's 20 million a year.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to stand here and do math.
400 million.
You know, especially I'm not going to, as a dyslexic person, try to do math in front of you right now.
But that's for reading. That's not for math. Dyslexia.
Fair enough.
I mean, we pay all these taxes and they waste all this money. If they really want to do something, you can put this money back into the system, educate people. Who are we really supporting here? Oh, well, we build these plants out, but we build these plants out, it'll put money back in the...
Or the miracle of downtown and the hockey arena and the restaurants.
Look at that, yes.
The two cities you're talking
Yes, you got these billionaires that come in, we're gonna build this stadium. Oh, we're gonna provide jobs. Oh, some minimum wage jobs so we can go serve, the poor people can go serve the rich people. Because half those people that's serving you, their kids can't even go and watch a game. You can make downtown as beautiful as you want. But I'm being real right now. And a lot of people are afraid to say this. I'm not afraid to say any of this because I've been there, done that. But at the end of the day, what about the neighborhoods?
I mean, where 95% of the city lives, you mean?
That's right. I got families still in the neighborhoods who are afraid to come out at certain times of night, who are afraid to go to that gas station right down the street from them, who are afraid to take a walk to the store because they're afraid, man. Fear.
You can get robbed and killed at the bus stop. That obviously shows you ain't got much to possess at the time. You know, you just probably got some nice shoes on at the bus stop and you can get robbed for that because people are dangerous. It's like, it's not a way of, it's not a why. It is what it is.
Listen to the life he's living. He's telling you.
A couple of girls, 14-year-old and a 12-year-old, they took a random bullet. They wouldn't even do it. One was in her house. One was on her bicycle. Wasn't there used to be a code? No kids?
Code don't exist anymore. Just, people don't have respect for them type of things. You know, if they can't get, and people feel like if they can't get you, they can get somebody else close to you or something. And that's due diligence. That's more of a cause to show you that, you know, it's no code and we not playing with you.
Oh, you're telling me now we are hunting your kids?
For the most part, anything happens. If you with your kids at the time and yes, there's no respect towards that.
Since I came on the job, I've seen 8-year-olds shooting guns and shooting people. You know, you see the parents brandishing guns around their kids, teaching their kids how to handle these guns. In the suburbs and in the city, we have too many guns out here and too many opportunities to obtain these guns. And these kids are using these guns like never before.
500 kids been shot in Detroit in the last 6 years. You're 10 times more likely to be shot as a kid in Detroit than in America. Surprise you?
Yes, but it's a lot of kids out here
14, 15 on Instagram, Facebook, uploading guns, uploading assault rifles that us grown folks don't even have. And it makes you wonder how did they get their hands on it. So the kids is resourceful these days.
You hear these kids say, look, I'd rather get caught with one than without one. We gotta change that mentality. People are afraid. These kids are afraid. They're not just toting guns because it's a fashion statement. They're toting guns because they are afraid of dying out here in the streets.
A random situation can cost you your life. Just walking into the store, not even having a plan, and a bump, a look, can have a gun in your face. Have somebody chasing you out the store, shooting at you. So yeah, I got a gun because everybody else have a gun.
And guess who's getting the street justice out here? It's your juveniles. It's people under 17 years of age. And they're becoming the victims too, because nobody cares.
Dude, you're a baller. Do you really think they're gonna be able to get guns out of your heads?
No.
I'm Grace Karros, and I'm third generation of American Coney Island. People say Detroit's a comeback city. I say, where you been? We've been here for over 100 years. My family's been here on the same corner, serving our famous proprietary American Coney Island hot dog. So like always, we're keeping things fresh, updated, and new. We'd love to have you come downtown and visit us, but if you can't, you can always go to AmericanConeyIsland.com, order a Coney kit, get it delivered fresh right to your door.
This message of Uplift is brought to you by business and personal wealth advisor Luke Nowacki, who reminds you that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but never enter the kingdom of God? But while you're waiting, Nowacki wants you to remember that overreaction is not a sound financial strategy. So call Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748 for sound financial advice.
Hall Financial is putting more money in your pocket with our exclusive no-fee home loan. That's right, you pay no fees to Hall Financial. So in addition to our nearly 6,000 five-star reviews and our average 9-day turn time from application to close, you now pay no fees to Hall Financial. This is going to save you up to $2,500 in fees that you'd normally pay to the other guys. Start saving now, 866-CALL-HALL, or chat with us at callhallfirst.com.
Programs, you say. Mentors, you say. Men, you say. I think I know one of the finest men ever to step foot in this city. Pastor Barry Randolph at Church of the Messiah.
When we looked at gun violence in Detroit, when we, the church, when this church stopped and said, okay, we got to look at gun violence. Our thing is not, no, we don't need to go out and buy the guns back. We're thinking, why do these kids feel as though they need to protect themselves? And why is violence now a solution to conflict resolution? Why are they even thinking that way? So the first thing is, you got to talk to those who are actually in it. And then you got to hear the answers that they give you.
It's not just about money. It's about life. Because even when you got money, you feel me, we ain't got no health. Not only that, I mean, if you get money and then the niggas around the corner from you ain't got no money, who they gonna come take from? You feel me?
Who they can? That because you don't know how to move if somebody climb on you like that.
You don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if one of us get money, but everybody else ain't eating, you feel me? That don't do nothing but make you a target. So either you gonna have to
put yourself in that circle and that, you feel me?
Success attract people. Do it not. You feel me? Yeah. What I'm saying is, you ain't gotta be doing nothing at all, and it'll still go left for you. So it's like you get money, okay, people gonna hate on you.
So we had to get down to the root cause of why was it that way. And the part about it that was extremely scary to stop and think about, the young people felt as though they had no hope. They had nobody to protect them, whether it was the police or whether it was the school or whether it was the neighborhood, nobody gave a damn about them. And they felt like they had to protect and arm themselves. And that's the way they go to school, that's the way that they're in the neighborhood. They feel like nobody is going to come help them. And where does that mindset come from?
From reality.
From reality.
Good afternoon. I want to start out, reason why we're calling this press availability to talk about some of the senseless violence that occasionally happens across the city. We look at our homicide picture for this year, and while we're reporting a decline,
We know that 31% of our homicides are caused by a simple argument.
These customers are upset about their food order, fried mushrooms, and get into an altercation with the victim. He's first hit with a pipe.
You know what? It ain't about the fried mushrooms. It's about that moment when that shelf breaks. That it's the last thing that you can put on that shelf and it breaks. And people lose control. It's a buildup. And then sometimes when people snap, they just freaking snap. They angry, they mad.
How do you stop it? So we're starting a campaign. And basically, and it may seem simple, check yourself, stop the violence.
Check yourself. You know what that is? That comes from a society of adults who have no answer, throw up their hands, and they quit.
So a slogan and some poster can't stop a culture built on anger and fear. You know, the reality can't be masked. The violence continue.
And I can't help but think about that tragedy that occurred on one of our local freeways where a 3-year-old little boy was shot and killed. And he was shot and killed because once again, the shooter felt disrespected because he believed that the driver of that vehicle may have cut him off. So he elects to use a firearm.
So let's take everything we learned so far and go back to the Kristen Miller case. You know what? It really can't get any more cut and dry than this. We have witnesses, confessions, shooter turned himself in. You know, it's a slam dunk case.
For everyone that's here for the Durham trial, I know this is an emotional case. I know that there may be things that are said and exhibits that are displayed that may be upsetting to you. I'm going to ask you to please try to keep your emotions to yourself and not have big outbursts in the courtroom because it could affect the jury.
911 with the emergency. Yes, somebody start my car. My God, I think he was here.
I'm going to pause here before we get started. This is 14 seconds. And do you recognize the voice we just heard?
Yes.
And who is that?
Me.
You recognize that?
Yes.
And what is that picture of?
Car seat with the bullet hole in it.
Is that the car seat that CJ would have been in?
Yes.
My window was down all the way, and then I leaned my chair back.
Okay, and why did you lean your chair back?
Because Rick told me to.
What happens after you roll your seat down?
Just happened really quick. I just seen the gun flash like a Roman candle or something.
You said you saw a gun flash?
Yeah.
So your window was rolled down and you see the shot and then you feel some glass coming towards you?
Yeah.
Now what happens after the glass shatters?
She slowed down, we slowed down with her, and then eventually we took off.
And while this is going on, did the defendant say anything?
He said he let her do too much.
That concludes this matter.
You know, I had retired, and I'd been in a shooting. I went through the same thing where I took somebody's life, and I left the job for a while because it really bothered me, taking somebody's life. But I came back because I thought about the lives that's been left, the kids that needed people like me who cared. And then Charlie came to me one day and said, hey, we got this little girl that just wants some justice. She just wanted an apology from her shooter. And this little girl's paralyzed. It touched my heart. I faced death the majority of my life, all the time. As a cop, dealing with cancer, dealing with a number of things. I know death is permanent. And when Charlie came to me to help, I wanted to help. I wanted to do something before I left this planet. So this case here is just, I think it's still solvable. but you just need somebody to come forward and talk. And the problem we have in Detroit is a lot of people are still on that no snitch rule. And they don't understand, without citizens or people coming forward and saying what they saw and being willing to testify to these things, we're going nowhere. So I think India could get some justice down the line. You know, I'm just optimistic like that.
Well, these guys might know.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Working magic.
You remember back in 2014, there was a young lady by the name of India Williams that got shot right over here. Yeah.
Oh, she was outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still paralyzed. I still talk
She's
to
still
her.
paralyzed. You still talk to her, yeah. Do you remember when that incident happened? Were you around?
I can't remember when it happened, but I was around. Like,
okay. What are the streets saying about this stuff? You know, we hearing a lot of versions, a lot of different things.
I can't even really tell you. I don't even stay around.
I ain't heard no more about it.
You ain't heard nothing else about it.
That's why I said I really can't tell you. I don't stay around here, so I ain't heard nothing.
Yeah.
What was the story? Was it two dudes beefing, two brothers or something like that?
Where you come from? Cut that shit off, girl. Cut that shit off, bro.
We making them.
Okay, fuck a movie. Ain't no movies over here. Ain't no actors over here, man. We gonna holler at you. This shit real life.
Well, they talking to us. They talking to us.
Yeah, no,
This
I
house,
ain't
though.
heard.
Oh,
They not
okay.
talking to y'all no more.
Okay.
Nigga, they don't pay no bills here. We'll talk to you, bro.
I got you. Look
Yeah,
at you.
see you later, cuz.
All
All
right.
you cats.
All right.
Get your fucking camera away from the side of my goddamn house.
Oh, you mad, ain't you,
Yeah,
too?
there's a motherfucker.
All right, well, I
Ain't
want
got a
you.
bulldog in there to get madder than me.
Oh, I don't want to mess with your bulldog,
then,
then.
man.
Bro, no problem.
Yes,
no
it
problem.
is, 'cause
No,
you
I said
ain't
no
moved
problem.
yet.
I said no problem.
But you ain't moved
I ain't
yet.
running either.
You ain't got to
I
run.
walk.
Trust me, I got some
Okay,
shit that'll
take
make
care.
you run, though.
Nah, I ain't worried about that.
Believe me, you ain't got to worry about it.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Fuck wrong with you?
And that's what you have.
What's that?
Those are kind of things that you deal with when you just try to talk to average people. You get citizens like that who are just angry, just bitter, you know, and the police have to deal with a lot of that. You know, I see it all the time. And this is why crime often goes unsolved. It's imperative that we get the community involved, but it's tough because of the perception of police in the streets. People will not talk to us. What do we do to get people to feel comfortable about, if you saw a shooting happen in front of your house right now, would you be willing to testify or would you be reluctant to testify?
I'm telling.
You gonna tell?
I don't see. This is my thing. This is the problem that I have with our community. Us.
Yep.
They have the word snitching misconstrued.
Yes.
If I'm spying and you have some things going on within your own home, and I, you know, hey, they got this going on, that's different. But when something happens that affects your area,
yes,
that has the ability to affect your children or your wife or your mother,
yes,
then you should stand up for that.
Absolutely.
You have to.
Yes.
That's the first thing of protecting your home.
Yes. You know, so getting back to the Miller trial, people did step up. People did appear on the stand. People did come forward to testify. But look what happened.
We received a note that indicated that the jury has not reached a unanimous decision, and you don't believe that you will be able to reach a unanimous decision. Is that correct? Who is your foreperson? Juror number 14, could you please stand? Is that a correct assessment of the situation in the jury room?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
And you don't believe you'll be able to reach a verdict?
At this time, I do not believe we can reach a verdict.
At this time, is there a motion? You may be seated.
I would move for a mistrial, Your Honor. I'm jury. Your Honor, leave it to the court's discretion.
On the basis of what's happened here today, I find I have no option but to declare a mistrial in this matter because of the hung jury. So at this time, the jury is relieved of their duties as jurors. Anything further from the people?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything further from defense?
No.
Okay. That concludes this matter.
If you saw when they came out, some of them looked extremely upset about what's going on.
You know what? We thought this case was a slam dunk. But the jury missed the bucket.
This is one case. The police get him, the witness cooperates, the prosecutor actually charges, it goes to a jury, and what happened?
It's pretty cut and dry what happened here. And from the beginning, they said that they've got enough evidence that they feel we should be able to convict for murder one. But murder too is no question. And then we get into the jury room, and one person out of the 12 just neglects their responsibility.
She said she doesn't believe police officers, is what she ended up telling us.
She said she doesn't believe police officers. The family of Christian Miller, who was looking to get their justice on Friday, were denied their justice because of an agenda of somebody, is all I can figure.
And so you want to know why the prosecutor drops India Williams' case? Because of stuff like that. And so nobody gets justice.
It's the oldest saying in the book, but you think there was justice here?
No, absolutely not. Then we don't, we gotta wait till June, try again. So, no justice. It'll be justice when we get a conviction. It won't be justice. Wait for me. It'll be justice for my son. That's what, we trying to get justice for CJ. You know what I'm saying? Me and his mama, we still suffering.
ADR, experienced, competent, overseeing more than $250 million in private and construction projects since 2001. Reduce your costs, increase your bottom line, cut the red tape at City Hall. Call Barry Allen Tuck at 248-318-9424 for a free consultation. ADR. And Legacy Partners Insurance. Let's face it, you're paying too much. Legacy Partners keeps an eye on your rates and continuously shops all the carriers to make sure you have the best program. Not only does Legacy do home and auto, they also have great life insurance programs, and they can help you sign up for Medicare and Medicaid. Give them a call today at 586-209-4106 or go to legacypartnersins.com. And next, Evo CBD Naturals. If you're feeling stressed, you're feeling anxious, you're having trouble sleeping, try their stress or sleep CBD natural complexes. Stay well all year long with smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals. Go to nextevo.com/nobs to get 25% off and a free bottle of premium pure CBD of $50 value. That's nextevo.com/nobs. Well, you know, when it rains, the power goes out. And when the power goes out, the internet goes out. When the internet goes out, I call my friend Matt and Bernie at XG Service Group. Look at Bernie here on his hands and knees, giving it everything he's got. Look at that man crack. So busy, he forgot to wear a belt. There's Matt right there getting the board together. That's 734-245-4100 if you need Matt and Bernie to come take care of your voice over internet, your security cameras, off-campus access control, Wi-Fi, and cameras for homes and business. They'll design it for you. You got restaurants, they do drive-through systems, railroad cameras for public safety, total wireless camera systems for your home and business. Yeah, that's right. Call XG Services at 734-245-4100. So if society doesn't want to do its part, if you don't want to do your part, we're never going to solve anything. You could throw all the money you want, all the programs, all the schools, all the jobs. If we don't do our duty, we're going down the tubes and we're going to lower the children in the ground. That's what you saw there.
But it's all about mistrust of the police, mistrust of the system. You know, nobody trusts the prosecutors anymore. We don't trust the judges. We don't trust the officers. We don't trust the testimony just coming from credible witnesses. You know, what do we do?
So when it all goes according to plan and yet nothing happens and it's a mistrial, you know what happens? It leaves victims in the street, it leaves cases open, and you've got India Williams wheeling around in her life just waiting for nothing more than an apology.
Last year, there were 67 children shot in our city under the age of 17. 9 of them were killed.
my daughter shot? Why is an innocent 2-year-old shot? Why is anybody's child shot?
In the chest. 5-year-old shot in the chest.
It was just firecrackers, and then the car started dinging, and next thing I know it, she was screaming.
We know that 2, a 3-year-old and an 11-year-old, are at the hospital right now.
It was just fine. Why would you do that to him?
13 shots in all went into this home.
Every block got a story, right?
I know.
Poor kid. She got hit right over here. Right here. Those fuckers came flying up. She's on her bike, bam.
So, you know, they still scared 7 years later, and they still terrified.
He told me he's afraid he's gonna get killed the last time I came.
Yes.
But then he texted me, am I gonna get paid?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do the right thing, dude.
I think it's important for everybody to know that India Williams was the it girl. And 5 years later, they didn't even know, she, her mom, the family didn't know that the case had been closed. Bye. I found in the police files the witness to her shooting. We're getting closer to finding out who did it and getting that apology.
Hi. Can I speak with please? Hey, what's up? So you're not gonna give testimony in the court on this?
Hell no. Why the fuck would I come to court like I told you before? I'm not about to do that.
Why?
What the fuck you mean what? I'm not going to court and doing nothing, bro. I'm not doing that, man. And please don't come back here, bro.
I won't anymore.
And you bring your mans with you.
I told you it's my partner. I told you it's my partner.
What you thought I was gonna feel better and do it?
Okay. All I'm asking.
Don't ask me nothing.
You don't want to talk to her.
How many times I gotta say it, bro?
Appreciate it. All right. See ya.
But one day, I'm gonna call you when I holler at you. Me and you just talk. Is that cool? And I won't pop up on you.
Oh, yeah, you want to give me a call?
Could I get your number? You know, that went really, really well. Sometimes you gotta let those people vent on one person while the other person just kind of sit back and listen. Play a little good cop, bad cop on them. And that went really, really well that time. I'm telling you, that show wasn't for you or his mom. You know what that show was? For the neighborhood. That was for the neighborhood.
Oh, wait, what? What are you saying?
Yeah, he was like, get the fuck away. He's showing the neighborhood. I ain't talking, I ain't snitching, I ain't this. Trust me, he gonna talk. That guy's gonna talk. That was for the neighborhood. That wasn't for you. His anger wasn't you. He was nervous. That was more nervous than anger. You see that? Neither one of his fists was clutched or anything. This guy was shaking, his breathing and everything else. He was afraid. But that show wasn't for you. That show was for the neighborhood, man. So now we come back and we just blow a little smoke up his ass. And I'm telling you, he'll talk. So you know what? People really do want to do the right thing. I think most times these witnesses, they want to tell the truth and they need to tell the truth. You know, and I think he wanted to come forward and tell us everything. And I think he told us the whole truth.
I was still down there by Massage Street, but they say she was just out there on her bike.
Okay, so you couldn't see her from your vantage point. You just watching all this car activity. Right. Okay, good. Okay.
And once they get to the side street, that's when the gunfire start exchanging. I don't know who shot first because I'm still trying to get the chairs to see what's going on.
Did you see anybody holding their hands out the car with a gun? Did you see any guns come out of the car where you can actually visualize somebody holding a gun?
Yeah, I can see like a like shooting back.
Okay, he's driving, but he's got the gun out across his chest, and he's shooting backwards out the window.
Yeah.
So he ain't looking at what he's shooting. He's just shooting back at them.
And trying to get away.
That's crazy. Okay.
And then they
are they popping at him while he's shooting back?
Yeah, they all shooting at each other now.
Okay.
I seen hand coming out, you know, the driver's side.
Okay, you saw that. That's good. So it was a big gun battle then.
Right. It was just
in the middle of the neighborhood.
Yeah, broad daylight.
Broad daylight.
So
in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Kids out playing.
By the time I made it down there, well, India was a couple houses away, you know, on the ground, and these knuckleheads just doing this up there, like you say, broad daylight. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That could have been my daughter out there.
Exactly. So here it is. You got this guy, witnessed the crime, right? Which he can identify 3 shooters. He can identify cars. They shot over 30 times with automatic weapons, and they paralyzed this little girl. He's scared to testify, and they're still walking around free to this day.
So Iris got the confession on the island. We've got to report. Our gunman's been arrested before. He's supposed to go on trial and he evaporates because the witness is scared shitless. Ira gets the tip that the guy took 18 bullets on Get It, the 5th anniversary of the day he put one into India. I'm gonna go to the hospital. He's laying there. I don't know how long this guy's gonna live or how long he's gonna be in Detroit. Now's the time. Ira hips me where he's at. I go on over. Look, it's me and you. Remember Cherished? About 5 years ago?
Who?
The street on Cherished. You had a beef with a guy.
Cherish?
Yeah.
I have no beef with no guy on Cherish.
Look,
Who's this?
that's a 7-year-old who was shot about 5 years ago. Guy trying to shoot you. You defending yourself. I'm quite sure about that. And this little girl just accidentally got caught up in it.
If I sincerely would have did this, she would have had a big apology from me, sir. Like, she would have had a big apology from me. I don't even know how my name even got close to even being brought up about that situation right there.
Police report somebody ID'd you.
If that's the case, like I said, I'll be in jail for it, sir. Definitely wasn't me. Probably a lookalike. Ain't the only tall, dark-skinned black dude. For real.
Can you send a message of encouragement to her?
I feel like if I send a message to her, I feel like that's me. Like,
Just say you didn't, then go, I didn't.
I really don't even know what to say, honestly, on that.
Is there anything we can do, like as a government or police or just as a community?
The thing we can do is pray and just try to promote the non-violence. That's it.
It doesn't seem to be working.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever you do, people still gonna act crazy. It don't matter what you do here, man. In this crazy city we live in, not even a city, the world we live in. It's not even just Detroit, it's the world we live in.
I know. The night you got shot is the 5-year anniversary that she got shot?
Nope.
Isn't that crazy?
But I don't know nothing about that. It could be a coincidence, right? So.
I wish you the best, brother.
Today, we decided to go to India's Family Church. And we're going to give them information on what we found and see what they want to do. You know, we're taking this case as far as we can. We need to take the evidence and the information to the police department, let them see what they're going to do, or just drop the whole thing. All right, so, you know, Indy, we located the report and we found out there was a witness, okay? But he didn't want to come forward because of some circumstances. And so we went back out, identified him, located him, and talked with him, and he told us the whole story. Basically who shot, well, who was shooting, and what stray bullet hit you. Yeah.
And why?
And why. From there, Charlie went and met the actual shooter.
So I went to the hospital. He was laying all full of bullets. And I gave him your letter. I asked him to read out loud, and he read it out loud. But no apology. He wouldn't even admit it was him. He couldn't remember he was even arrested. So we know who it is. We didn't get your apology. What do you want us to do with this? There's a witness, and the witness said the reason he won't come forward is because they let the guy out, and he's not protected, and the man's still, as you know, all around.
At this point, it's nothing that I really want to be done because he's not going to admit of shooting my baby. So we have came to the terms that it happened, and God is going to fix that situation. Sometimes justice will not ever be served in certain situations, and it's sad to say. At the beginning, that's all she wanted was apology, but you know you're not going to get that from him.
What about you?
I don't have nothing to say.
It's been a long time, so.
I'm over it.
I go with Jordan to take his driver's test. Driving is his path out. Independence. No more being exposed while waiting on the bus that never seems to arrive on time.
How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
This big day.
Good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, follow me.
Every young man dreams of a set of wheels, the first miles towards the dream of a small business and maybe a small house for his mother.
So is that a real license? Awesome. We got him a car. So he can go to work, get a life going, contribute to society, and help the next young one come. That's how we do. You know what? When we were coming here before the test, we were driving down your street, and it was the bus stop. That first spring I knew you, and you were going to school, and we were talking about your friend and took his life with the gun.
Meech, yeah, Meech.
What a circle. What a full circle this has been.
Jeez, it's only the beginning though.
How many children do you know have been maimed, killed?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Since I've been the pastor of this church,
which is how many years?
16 years, at least 300. At least 300. At least 300.
The thing about Pastor Barry is he teaches computers, he teaches bike mechanics, but mostly what he does is he's a father figure, someone to talk to.
We help them get to their full potential by providing a safe space, a sacred space, a space where they can come and they can talk, but they can also heal. But we want to take them to their highest potential. You all have so many gifts and talent, but when people think hood, the first thing they think is something bad, something awful. There's some bad circumstances in the hood, but there's some people in the hood who doing some good things in the neighborhood where they are. The vibe that's in the room is saying all of the things that are possible, is showing all of the people who are making it happen. Because in the room is not just talk, we're pulling it off. We're literally creating the jobs, building the entrepreneurs, getting the kids through school and getting them to graduate college, getting them employed, but also too resurrecting families, resurrecting community, changing the mindset of the evil that's been put out in our community and neighborhood. It's more young people doing the right thing. We're here to demonstrate the power of people who have overcome. Power of people who are making a difference in the world in spite of. This is not about hope. This is about doing what you know you have the God-given right and the ability to do. This is about making it happen, not waiting on a politician, not waiting on law enforcement, not waiting on big business, waiting for them to do the right thing. Jesus will be back first. They're not all collectively going to do the right thing. No, it's up to the people to do the right thing.
This is the way. This has helped change my life, man, truly. This has helped change my life. I don't have to ask anybody for nothing. I haven't borrowed any money in a long time, and I have a lot of people on the payroll, so I think we're doing pretty good.
Melvin Walker decided to take the horror that happened to him and focus it into making things better. He has a construction business now. He trains and pays anyone who wants to learn.
When I got shot, I kind of fell into a low self-esteem space. I fell into a low self place. I really did. So all of this right now is just me rebuilding myself. I'm building back better. You know, but I am not playing with it, because it's just one of those things like, man, I don't want to be, hey, you got people that become a victim and then they live in that victim for their whole life. They don't ever want to try to change the situation. I'm always trying to change. You know, change is constant. So now my thing is finding people that want to be themselves. I want to take this thing to another level. I want to grab the lowest of the lows. Everybody that was low, we coming up. That's my philosophy. I want to make sure that the people that get counted out get a shot.
He does it just like someone did it for him after his shooting, paying it forward. In the end, Walker asks, isn't that how we really fix these things? To be a pillar for the fragile and young and tired, something to lean upon, to give of yourself?
My the chancellor at the college that I worked for 18 years, Wayne County Community College, gave me a start, helped me in my whole process when I really did kind of go through the tragedy. And I mean, you know, from there, I mean, the sky's the limit.
And we don't need to get tired or numb from hearing this. It needs to be shouted from the rooftop. We got a problem. We got a problem, America. We got a problem, Detroit. And the only way that we go get this right is ain't nobody go come in here and wave a magic wand. And God is not go stop and send a savior into the world. He just go say, where are my people who know the right thing to do? When are we going to get this right and say our society, our community is worth saving? But more importantly, how many children do we bury before we say enough is enough? And for us to say enough is enough, this is going to take courage. It's going to take courage in the community, courage in the government, courage in law enforcement, courage in the way that we do things. But for the sake of our children, we are going to be judged by allowing our children to be murdered in the street. And we can't end this.
So in the end, where's the hope? It's in the children. That's where the hope is. So let's give them a break and nurture the hope. Give them something, not crumbs. Make them the priority. That's where we should start.